We are live, ladies and gentlemen. We got a crazy banger of a video today because we have a lot of breaking news that just happened. So once you get into the room, make sure that you drop it in the comment section. Let us know exactly where you're at, where you're from, so we can get everybody up in this room. We got a big video ahead of us today. So once you get into the room, make sure you hit that like button, because it helps people see that we are live everywhere, not just on one platform, but we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. We got a crazy live for you today. As you may know, breaking: the United States has officially bombed Iran, and whether you support it or not, this move has pushed us one step closer to global war. But here's the question nobody's answering: what happens to your money if this war spirals out of control? Let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody's talking about that part, right? Everybody's concerned about this war, which, listen, I get it, okay? I got to know what we are preparing for. There you go. I mean, that's a great question. I mean, this is kind of crazy, okay? We want to talk about what happens to your money if this war spirals out of control, all right? So let's talk about this. We got a lot to cover today, because while politicians are playing chess with missiles, you and I are the pawns paying the price. Inflation, recession, possible draft, cyber attacks. And don't get it twisted, your bank account is not safe. So we want to prepare ourselves as we move along into this, okay? You guys do know Russia and China are not in cahoots. Yo, we're going to see some crazy comments in this video. So again, tell us exactly where you're at, where you're from when you join us, because we got a lot to cover, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So let's get into the facts. We want to get into the facts. That's what we'll get into next. Drop a comment. Let us know exactly where you're at, where you're from. Hit that like button once you've got here. This is not about fear-mongering, ladies and gentlemen. We are not fear-mongering anybody, but I want to prepare you and talk about what you need to do moving forward, okay? Macon, Georgia is in the house. Again, we are not fear-mongering. We are preparing for whatever we need to prepare for. Okay. My favorite, that Asma Roland said, I got to know, what are we preparing for? Exactly. We got to prepare for whatever happens. Because I think we've never seen any war on the United States stateside in I don't know how long. So we're not concerned about that part. But a lot of things will happen with money that nobody is talking about or covering right now. Everybody's concerned about all these bombings, which they should be. Okay, let's be honest. It's serious. But nobody's talking about what's going to happen to money moving into next week, which is tomorrow. Okay, and how the markets are going to react, what's going to happen, how you can protect your money. We need to talk about that and get that on the table so everyone knows. So we got Delaware in the house, Birmingham, Alabama, Rockingham, okay, Kansas, Richmond Hill, Georgia. Where are we at? I know it needs to be discussed, but I'm not in the mood at all. Listen, I didn't even want to talk about this, but I feel like I owe it to everybody, because I started seeing comments on other platforms like, yo, what should we expect? Oh, the funniest comment I saw, ladies and gentlemen, was someone said, yo, so we paying our bills this month, or what's up? I was like, yes, we're paying our bills. So number one, don't stop paying your bills, ladies and gentlemen, okay? We don't want to stop doing that, okay? We got Philly, Michigan, California. Look at there. Jethro, it won't. Fresno, California, Kansas City, Auburn, New York, Bama, Orlando, Dallas, Texas. Russia can't even wipe Ukraine. Oh my God, he said it. Western Mass boy, okay? Yo, I'm serious. That was the first comment, because I dropped the video very quickly once we knew the bombing was happening. Once I knew the B-52s were in the air, the B-2s, once the B-2s were in the air, they were on their way somewhere. Because does anybody know how much it costs to put one B-2 bomber in the air? Does anybody know? Okay, let me know in the chat. Okay, what does it cost to put one B-2 bomber in the air? Okay, does anybody know in the chat? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. What does it cost for America to put one B-2 bomber in the air? Okay, bingo, $2 billion. Okay, $2 billion, not millions, not millions, ladies and gentlemen, 2 billion. Okay. So when you think about it, you're like, man, that's a lot of money. Guess how many we put in the air? 7. 7 B-2 bombers went into the air. Okay. 7 B-2 bombers dropped 14 bunker buster bombs on Iran. Well, yes, of course it's fake money. They just print money. But the whole point is the taxpayers are fronting this. We're paying for this. We paid for 14 missiles and 7 B-2 bombers, which is wild to think about. $2 billion per B-2 bomber. That's $14 billion. Okay. There's also ongoing costs to maintain the Iron Dome. A lot of people do not know that we are, in fact, funding the Israel war. We are funding Israel. We give them $14 billion a year, which amounts to $11 million a month. Yeah, that's pretty wild if you crack down those numbers like that. That's pretty crazy, right? Nobody really likes to talk about that one either. So we want to talk about this. So of course, the U.S. military launched airstrikes against the Iranian military targets. This wasn't a drill. It was a direct attack, okay, that destroyed their enrichment areas. That's what everyone's stating. So why does this matter to you, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, not including the payload. Andre Bragg, not including the payload is a fact. Okay, we're just talking about putting the B-2 bombers in the air is $2 billion. $14 billion what it costs us to go bomb Iran. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. While the price of groceries are still elevated, beef is at an all-time high. The price of oil just spiked 4% 2 days ago before the bombing happened. So we could expect oil to spike also. But also, why does this matter? Because markets react violently to global instability. That word is very powerful. Markets react violently to global instability. That's a huge deal, okay? Huge deal. Oil prices will spike, which equals gas. Groceries, heating is all going to go up if this war continues. I want to prepare everybody for that. Everyone needs to understand that, because when gas spikes, oil spikes, that causes everything to spike also. Because what runs the equipment on the farms? Gas. How do you get all of your meat and all your produce to the grocery store? Through a truck with gas. Okay, your flights going on vacations, gas. Driving in a car, gas. It's going to get huge impacts. Okay, now here's the other part that a lot of people don't talk about. Interest rates become unpredictable. Borrowing money might become unaffordable overnight. I want to be really clear about that. The markets are already high. It's super expensive, okay, that people can't buy a home. Let's keep it 100. The average cost of a home in America is $460,000. And that's not including the 6 to 9% interest rate, depending on where your credit profile is at, where your credit score is at, okay? So interest rates can become very volatile, and people that are carrying debt, and what I mean by that is like high debt, like credit card debt, could see those interest rates spike, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I want to go ahead and warn you. If this continues, this is exactly what can happen. So if you're carrying any high interest debt, I suggest highly that you get rid of it as soon as you possibly can. If you can, if it's possible, you can possibly look into some type of personal loan with a credit union. A credit union is the best place to get a personal loan to consolidate credit card debt. They are more than likely to give you a high personal loan to pay off your credit card debt and lump it all into one payment. So you can go from a credit card that has 20 to 30% interest rate to a personal loan that potentially only has a 7 to 12% interest rate, slashing that interest rate immediately and allowing you to bundle it all into one monthly payment, making it affordable. Okay. So, but you need to establish and build a relationship with a credit union. We talk about that all the time. You can't just pull up to a credit union and be like, yo, I need $20,000 to pay off this credit card debt. You'd be like, oh, sure. No. Credit unions are bank relationship building. That's the only way to get into them, okay? You have to build the relationship. They're relationship-based banking is what we call them, okay? Will it be better to buy our own barrels of oil? No, because then you have to refine it. You have to actually convert it into gas. Okay, so that the refining process is what's one of the most expensive processes. Sorry, 1 second. So it's not cheaper to buy your own barrels, unfortunately, because you have no way to break that down. So but most importantly, to understand that investor confidence crumbles. That means the word that nobody likes to hear is layoffs. That means bankruptcies. That means recession. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So how many of you lived through 2008 or even remember COVID? Remember what COVID did to your 401k? Now imagine that on steroids with tanks and bombs in the headlines every day. Drop a little fire emoji in the comment, okay? If you lived through that and you remember it, because I remember it. I remember how it just completely tanked my 401k. I was like, what is happening? Oh my God. Nobody saw that coming with 401ks during COVID or in 2008. Did anybody live through 2008 and go through that crazy financial thing? I did. Drop a fire emoji if you did. I watched the entire housing industry just completely crumble. I actually owned a pawn shop at the time, so I was doing extremely well. So we'll talk about that also. He said, Reginald said, I worked at a refinery, Chevron Pascagoula. Okay, that's crazy, in Mississippi. 2008 was also trash. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. So let's talk history. When the U.S. enters war, two things always happen, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody know what that is? Two things happen whenever we go into war, the United States. Does anybody know what that is? Yeah, housing market was horrible in 2008. That was a crazy, crazy time to watch all of that crumble. And I was like, yo, what is happening? Why is nobody talking about this? This is kind of crazy. But does anybody know what happens when we do actually go to war? Wondering if anybody knows. We start printing money, okay? We start printing money. War is expensive. Trillions of dollars expensive. We're not even talking millions or billions. We're talking trillions. As you just heard me say, it cost us, what was it, 14 billion? $14 billion to fly 7 B-2 bombers out there. And then what happens is Congress has to make a decision and they raise the debt ceiling. Our government goes deeper into debt to fund the military. Okay. What happens when we do that? Liz just covered it right now. She said inflation. That's right. The value of the dollar drops. Inflation spikes. Your savings get weaker. Food, fuel, and housing explode in price. Yo, like how worse can it get, right? It's already bad out here. I'm like, I don't even want to tell people this right now, but it's a fact. We have to understand that we have to prepare for this, okay? Is the stock market going to go crazy? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Monday is going to be a crazy day for the stock market because remember, everything is about certainty in the stock market. How certain are they that they can invest this money and they can move this money and do all these things and invest into countries, into projects, into building businesses? If there's no certainty when there's global unrest, then the stock market goes crazy. So understand that. Recession and printing promissory notes. Promissory, isn't that crazy, that word? Promissory note. We promise that this $20 or $5 is worth it, but it's really not. It's really not even worth it. $1 is not worth $1 anymore. Okay. He said, this is great. Oh, California Cutie 1978. I love that. I love that and I don't love it at the same time. Okay. So it's really important to understand, okay? During the Iraq War, gas hit $4.50 a gallon, which doesn't seem pretty extreme, but so let's take an example here in North Carolina. Gas is still right at $3.50, right underneath $4 a gallon for premium, which is really great. California, it's like $6 or something. Okay. And this is another one. Let me put this up on the screen. I really love this comment from Liz. Liz knows her stuff. Other countries don't want to buy U.S. debt anymore either. This is a big problem right here. because usually they will buy it. Now the world is like, yeah, America, we're really not down with you anymore. We're not homies. So we're not going to buy any more of this debt. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, everyone needs to hit that like button, man. There's only 6 likes in here, bro. Well, what's going on? I'm over here giving y'all some serious gems. And there will be a Q&A at the end of this. So hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So remember, during the Iraq War, gas soared, okay? And then inflation soared, interest rates climbed, housing collapsed shortly after. War doesn't create wealth, it destroys it, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. If you have any of your money just sitting in a bank, you need to put it into a high yield savings account. Do not just leave your money sitting in the bank in these crazy times that the dollar is collapsing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking into buy a house. Right now is the worst time in American history to buy a house, Mr. Foodie. Worst time in American history to buy a house. Interest rates are high. The price of a home is high. It's not worth it. Keep your money in the bank, rent. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm probably going to be the only person to ever tell you that. Unless you can come out with like some type of awesome program where you don't come out of pocket and it's actually affordable, but it's not worth it. Toya Avant just made a really great comment. I'm put it up on the screen right here. Yeah, put your money in some gold and silver. I'm not a big fan of silver, but silver is doing okay as it always does. But gold is at like $33 or $3,400 an ounce. It's the highest it's ever been. It's projected to hit over $6,000 an ounce by the beginning of next year. That's what JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are stating, and some other big investors out there. Okay. Yeah, learning from YouTube. Yeah, who's trying to buy a house now at those crazy rates? That's what I'm saying. But gold, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, gold is one of the most important things. I'm really bullish on gold because I used to be involved in gold, but I'm also really bullish on gold IRAs. You can get physical, that's great, but you can also get gold IRAs. I'm gonna drop it in the comments section for anybody that wants to look into gold IRAs. My top 5 is on that list. Okay. Just have a phone call, talk about it, learn about it. You can invest in other commodities also besides gold. Platinum is really low right now, which is like really crazy how it's lowering platinum, but gold continues to climb. So use that link right there. Or if you are on Facebook, make sure to comment invest and it will send it to your DM also. So if you're on Facebook, just comment invest and it will say, it will send you the link to your inbox if you're on Facebook. Now, as far as high yield savings accounts, yes, I can give you a bunch of other high yield savings accounts. Give me 1 second. I'll find that link. I think I have like the top 5 or something like that. So give me 1 second. I got a bunch of those. So I got to just find it real quick. So high yield savings accounts are great for situations like this because instead of your money just sitting there and not doing anything, your money is actually growing in the background for you while the dollar just completely continues to collapse, which is wild to me. But of course it does happen. But best for high yield savings accounts, I'm going to drop it in the comments section right now. High yield savings accounts are really, really great. Okay. So if you comment savings, it'll also drop it into your inbox. If you comment savings, it will drop it into your inbox. But that's the link for any high yield savings account. These are ways. Another way that you can also cut down your costs, you could keep more money. We want to keep a serious fund to protect your money at all times. Okay. That means the savings funds is going to be huge for you. So this is a way that you could do it with high yield savings accounts. Also, you can look at cutting cost at different items. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, cutting cost at different items. One of the biggest ones, one of the biggest expenses we have, I'm dropping the link in Facebook and on YouTube for the savings accounts. One of the biggest costs that people pay for is car insurance. Car insurance. Save if you possibly can. Check your rates per your local area. This can save you hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars every single year. If you comment rates, I'll send it to you on Facebook, but I'll also drop it right here in the chat for anybody that needs to save money on their car insurance. This is a way that I've saved so much money. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's a huge deal. It can literally help you. I saved, what was it, like something like $1,200 a year, because I check my rate every 6 months. If your credit score gets higher, you need to recheck your rate because it's based on your credit score in a lot of the states. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So a lot of the states, it's based on your credit score. Like North Carolina, they base it on your credit score, and you actually have what's called an insurance rate. Sorry, an insurance credit score. So your insurance credit score will actually be dependent on your credit. So if you don't check your rates every 6 months, you're probably overpaying for car insurance. Just want to let you know. This is a huge way. I dropped it in the comment in the chat again for anybody that needs it. Okay. Now, think about, let me ask you guys a question. This is a real serious question. If you had to pay double for food, gas, and rent starting next month, could you survive? Okay. Could you survive? Comment the cost of war if you're feeling this weight right now. Comment cost of war if you would feel it, if you had to pay double for food, gas, and rent during the next month. Okay. That's a serious question. We're just keeping it real here. We're going to talk about it. Because a lot of people don't want to talk about that, but we want to cover everything to prepare you. So let's get real here for a second, okay? What happens to your money? So people ask this in the question in the chat. What happens to your money? The stock market is going to have big drops and panic selling. Retirement accounts will start bleeding. 401ks will be a disaster for people out there, ladies and gentlemen. It will be a disaster for people. Crypto is very volatile. It could pump, could dump, depends on fear levels. Crypto could skyrocket or it could not. It could just start dumping. That can happen. Now, real estate. We're just talking about real estate. Interest rates may spike. Fewer buyers and a price collapse. Okay. Leave the U.S. That's another big option. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Now, bank accounts not growing. Inflation will silently steal your savings. This is why we talked about this. A high yield savings, invest your money in gold or silver or some type of commodity. If gold continues to go up, you can make anywhere from 2 to, let's say, hypothetically, 8% on your return with gold, which is a huge deal. I'm a huge proponent for gold. I used to own a pawn shop. I made a lot of money off of gold. Okay. Would your income survive is your question. Correct. Would your income survive if this went down? I'm going to drop the link in the comments for gold again. That's for my top 5 gold IRAs. Gold IRAs are fantastic. The wealthy use them to shelter their money. If you can't buy physical gold, you can dump it into IRAs. It totally works. So this is a great comment right here. War happens, fear of no electricity, computers. This is why some people are dumping crypto right now. Correct. Correct. There's already panic selling right now. People are like, oh my God. All right. So what do the rich do in these situations? We just covered it. They shift to gold and silver. Okay. They shift to gold and silver. They pull their cash from their banks. Not all of it, but they pull great chunks of it. Never ever pull all your money out of the bank because that's just a bad idea. They invest in foreign assets. Okay. It could be all types of different types of foreign assets. My favorite thing is property in other countries. If you could buy property in other countries, it's better to buy it than to buy it here in America. All right. Who benefits from what, NC? Would it be wise to buy shares of the big three? The big three what? Tell me what you mean, the big three. So yeah. So what do the poor do? The poor always wait too long. Everyday hardworking Americans that are poor are going to wait too long. Hope is temporary, and you can lose everything. Just remember that. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen. Real assets. Okay. So ask yourself this in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think your job, your rent, your retirement is safe if war breaks out globally? Okay. Let me know in the comments. Drop a little fire emoji in the chat if you think your job, your rent, or your retirement is safe if war breaks out. Okay. Drop a little fire emoji in the chat if you think that you're going to be okay. Because money doesn't disappear. It moves to the prepared, ladies and gentlemen. It moves to the prepared. Money doesn't disappear. It moves to the prepared. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but we're going to tell you the truth tonight, okay, ladies and gentlemen? That's where it goes. So financial prep. This is what we're going to bust into right now, step by step. Drop some little heart emojis in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I need you guys to like this video. Yeah, nothing is safe. Correct. Nothing is safe. North Carolina, we're talking about America being at war right now. What it could look like, how to protect yourself. Do I know Braylon? I don't know any Braylon, not that I know of. So the whole purpose of this video is for everybody to prepare. I don't want you to get sideswiped. I want everyone to survive. And I don't mean like survive the war. I mean survive monetarily, because what happens to your money is very important. So let's break it down, what to do right now. Okay. Step one. This is very important. Pay attention. There's going to be 5 steps here that you do not want to miss. Tesla life. Yeah, unless they cut off power, what you going to do then when you ain't got no power to charge that Tesla? Electric cars sound great, but when there's no electricity to charge it on, what are you going to do? Okay. So let's be real. Not throwing Tesla hate, okay? But I'm just saying. So we're going to break it down, the financial prep step by step. Let's break it down, what to do right now. There's going to be 5 steps. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Correct. Don't panic. We're not panicking. We're preparing. We're not fear-mongering. We're preparing. So don't panic. Keep calm. The most important thing, okay? Chrysler, General Motors, and Ford at 40 cents a share. That's insane if that's real. I haven't even looked at the stock market this weekend, but if that's real, like, whoa. Okay, or are you saying they're going to get to that? That's pretty wild if you think about that. Whew. That's crazy. All right. Step 1, we want to build cash reserves, at least 3 to 6 months of expenses. Build cash reserves, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, 3 to 6 months of expenses in cash and accessible, not locked in a bank that could freeze up. Because remember, our money is all fake at the end of the day. They don't have all your money just sitting in a safe. It's all digital. Okay. All right. So we're preparing for what is going to happen if we continue on this war. We want everyone to prepare what's going to happen to your money. Step number 2, you want to diversify your money. We just covered this a second ago. You want to diversify your money. All right. You want to have a reserve, and you want to diversify your money in gold, silver, crypto, foreign ETFs. Move some money out of the U.S. markets. People aren't going to like it that I say that, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Okay. Move your money into foreign markets. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Yes, we're gonna have a Q&A at the end of this to cover any questions. So stick around. Make sure you hit that like button, everybody. I wish I could quit working if that was true. All right. So we're going to talk about this again. Gold, silver, crypto, foreign ETFs. Move some money out of the U.S. markets. It's always a safe play. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to drop the link again in the comments for anybody that's interested in any gold IRAs. It's a great way to protect your money. If you comment invest, it will send it to you on Facebook automatically to your DMs. Okay. Now, step number 3. Okay. Now, step number 3 is cut interest debt. Okay. Cut high interest debt. Because if rates spike, variable loans, credit cards, lines of credit will bleed you dry, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I'm not a big fan of forex trading, but I mean, if that's your thing, I mean, if you feel safe with that, California QT 1978, possibly, yeah, it was like that in 2003, correct? So remember, step number 3 is cut high interest debt. We covered that a minute ago, because if rates If rates spike, variable loans, credit cards, lines of credit will bleed you dry, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Now, step number 4, lower expenses. Start living lean now, okay? Start it right now as much as you possibly can. That's what we said. Save money on your car insurance, okay? Check your car insurance rates. It's one of the biggest places that people spend the most. Then cancel luxury subscriptions. Minimize discretionary spending. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen. Discretionary spending is all the things you're spending money on that you don't need. You can go without 20 subscriptions to Hulu, Netflix, ESPN, all these things. Try to crunch down as much as you possibly can. Be very, very frugal. Correct, CA Cutie, okay? Now, is crypto a safe investment? There's no safe investments ever. Let's go ahead and be really clear on that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm never going to say one is safer than the other, but understand commodities like gold, silver, platinum, palladium, they will hold their weight. Crypto could just collapse tomorrow. So could the stock market, and everything just disappeared. But you know, it'll be the one thing holding value? Gold. Gold, silver, platinum, palladium. Those are what we call, we don't call them rare earths, but hot commodities. But of course, they are volatile also, okay? So just understand that. But there's nothing that's a safe investment ever. Anybody ever says that, don't listen to them. I'm going to tell you the truth. Step number 5, get a side income. Recession-proof skills, online businesses, something you control. Very simple. Side hustles, anything you control. Precious metals, that's right. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Michael. Precious metals are always going to be valuable. Let this sink in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you guys a quick little life story. I used to be in the pawn shop business. I own my own pawn shop. I own a certain percentage of it. I was in the pawn shop business when gold was $900 an ounce. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, let me check it real quick. I'm gonna see what gold is at right now. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't spike already, but I don't want to make any assumptions. But the price of gold, if you know it before me, drop it in the chat. So 3,300. It went down like 0.22% today. It'll jump back up on Monday because the stock market is going to go crazy on Monday, which is tomorrow, less than 24 hours. So yeah, but it's $3,300 an ounce right now, ladies and gentlemen. Gold was $900 an ounce in 2007, 2008. That's a huge, huge jump. Okay. Investing in anything by nature is speculative. Listen, we're not going to do this whole MAGA thing. Listen, for real, get out of here with that trash, man. You're just going to get banned. I'm going to ban you because, like, I don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear your nonsense, okay? Is Trump's gold coins a good investment? I don't trust any of that. Unless you're getting it from a reliable source, I don't trust anything that has anybody's name on it. Let's be really clear on that, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to invest in anything that has somebody's name on it. They could have manipulated it. It could not be 100% gold. Let that sink in. So you got to understand what you're getting yourself into, okay? So, all right. So, again, get a side income, ladies and gentlemen. No, we're not having this discussion because of MAGA. Get a side income that is recession-proof skills, online businesses that you can control yourself. Because if this gets crazy out here, layoffs will start to begin. Uncertainty. Investors don't want to keep putting money into businesses. Okay. European currencies are more stable. They're better, but not more stable. Okay. Yeah, $900 an ounce, Jerry. Okay, when I left the pawn shop business, I think it hit $1,200 an ounce. That was like 2009, 2010, something like that. I can't remember. But now it's over 3,000. It's $3,300. That's insane. Okay. So tell me, which step are you on right now? So remember, there's 3 steps here. Build cash reserve is step 1. Step 2, diversify your money, gold, silver, crypto. Move your money out of U.S. markets. Step 3, cut high interest debt. Get rid of all that high interest debt if you can, or consolidate it. Step number 4, lower expenses. Start living lean. Cancel those luxury subscriptions. Be frugal. Step number 5, get a side income job. Recession-proof skills. Drop a fire emoji in the comments. Let me know which one you're on, which one you're working on. Side hustles can make you extra money to help build that cushion, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people don't want to get out there and get a second job. Listen, in order for me to get to where I'm at today, where you see me, I worked 3 jobs. I had a day job that I went to from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. I would leave that job and go be a catering chef until I was done with that catering job. And I would leave there and I would go Uber in the middle of the night in what we call the peak time. So I was making, 6 to 10 times what a normal Uber driver makes because I was only driving during peak times. Uber Eats, DoorDash, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Uber doesn't pay as much as it used to. I'm telling you right now, like it was crazy how much we were making back then. I need a hustle, but I'm so tired. I know. Listen, I was tired when I was working these 3 jobs to get here. If I want to work those 3 jobs, you would not see me here as a YouTuber right now. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. If I did not work that Uber job where I was working in the middle of the night after I've been working all day, I go home and sleep maybe 4 or 5 hours if I was lucky, I would not be here today. So I'm super thankful to Uber, and I always tip really well when I get into Uber nowadays. That was a huge one for me. Donated plasma does work, but it doesn't pay that much and it drains you, literally. Okay. Do not do DoorDash. They got me broke ordering my food. So yeah, so those are the things that everyone can work on. Now, another final piece is mental and physical readiness. War doesn't just attack wallets, it attacks minds. Remember that. People panic. We don't want to panic under any of these circumstances. People fight over resources. People go into survival mode. My family has built I don't want to say my family because it's really my wife and my daughter have built a garden of vegetables. It's pretty crazy. These crazy size zucchinis and all these different types of squash and tomatoes and lettuce that my wife and my daughter started growing right in the beginning of the summertime because she felt that we need to possibly grow our vegetables because a lot of things are going on in the agriculture department that nobody's talking about. Also, more than 50% of the workers in agriculture are not going to work anymore. Texas is really feeling it right now. More than 75% of the farm workers in Texas are not going to work. They don't have anybody to milk the cows, anybody to prep the chickens, anybody to feed the cows and the chickens and the pigs. They don't have anybody to pick the vegetables. We're about to be in a really bad situation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna drop some videos about that later tonight, talking about that. If y'all saw these zucchinis, they're crazy. They're like this big. I've never seen a zucchini that big. Okay, never seen one. Cucumbers are massive. It's pretty crazy. So what you need to do is stock up on water. Be careful what type of water you choose and where you store it because the plastic can leach into your water. Just always be aware of that. Keep it in a cool, dry space. Food, first aid, batteries, and flashlights. And prepare a go bag. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, prepare a go bag, something that has all your necessities that you have. Talk with your family to make a plan. If you guys need to get out of the area, whatever's going on, talk to your family, prepare them. There you go. Oh, that's a great one, Michael. A water filter. Say, yes, you can have your water, but you need to have a water filter in case you need to leave, okay? So, yeah, and then listen, limit doom scrolling, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Because once you watch something about any of these politics or any of the war, your feed is just going to be full of them, okay? Try not to doom scroll as much as you possibly can. You want to prioritize your sleep, your nutrition, and your exercise. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Because again, once you start watching something, it's going to keep feeding it to you the entire time. That's how these algorithms are designed. That's why when I come in and I come into your chat and I say something about anything that's going on in the world, people get upset. They're like, why are you talking about this? We don't want to know. You have to hear it. You have to know what's going on. I'm going to talk about anything news, anything money, anything credit, anything finance, everything we're going to talk about on my channel to cover everything. We don't want anybody to panic. We want everybody to be prepared. Mental clarity is your secret weapon in chaos, okay? So tell me what's one thing you still need to stock up on? Food, water, or meds? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, food, water, or meds. There you go, Joy Brooks. I'm a prepper, been doing it before COVID, have the necessities. A second job allowed me to coast through the tough times. Yo, that's a huge one. Let's put this up here because that's a huge one, okay? This is something that people need to hear. A second job allowed me to coast through the tough times. You know, I didn't make a lot of money back in the day. I'm going to keep it 100 with everybody. I was financially secure because I'm responsible, paid all my bills on time, good credit score, everything great. But having a second job gives you that extra cushion. Once you start doing it, it just becomes habit. And then you become comfortable and you start to actually save money and actually invest. Okay. So that's very, very important. Okay. This is a really good one too. So be careful of social media. It's about to get crazy. AI won't make it any easier. This is very, very true. Be careful what you watch. There's going to be a lot of lies and a lot of nonsense on social media, as there always is. And on the news. Stop watching the news. Just watch your local news. Don't watch this mainstream media stuff. Just stick to regular local news. Stay away from Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, all those major networks. Stay away from all of them. You want to look at your local news as to what's going on in your local area, because it's just a propaganda machine. It doesn't matter if you're Democrat, doesn't matter if you're Republican. They're all just feeding propaganda. I'm an independent. People think that I'm a Democrat. No, I'm an independent. I don't trust either side. It's just all propaganda. Okay, so you want to keep your mind clear and be able to see real news when it's happening. Okay. So let's talk about this too. Something that nobody talks about. Okay. It's all games and BS. It's totally true. Totally true. It's all games and mind control at the end of the day. But I want to talk about something else that a lot of people don't talk about when we have these situations. So Iran has allies. Okay, we're going to talk about this. Let's break it down. Who could get involved? Iran has allies. Russia. Okay. China. North Korea is unpredictable. Syria, Lebanon, Hezbollah, Yemen, the Houthis. Okay. All these different regions could potentially get involved. Okay. China's a huge one. So we want to understand that if these countries coordinate, even in cyber warfare, things get ugly real fast. Cyber warfare is huge. Okay. Now I'm going to say something crazy. You're going to be like, what? So there's so many resources that are being pushed into immigration right now that all of the cyber departments, Homeland Security, you got the DEI, the FBI, they're all working with ICE right now instead of protecting our country. Okay. So cyber warfare could get really, really serious. And everybody knows that America is focused on ICE right now and putting all those resources into that. So what happens with cyber protections? Yeah. Cyber attacks are so real. Okay. All right. Putin just announced he's not trying to fight. That's wild. Okay. Say, let's see. Yo, this is getting wild. It's true though. Okay. Let me take a sip of my water over here. So, cyber attacks are real. How can you protect yourself with cyber attacks, ladies and gentlemen? Drop it in the chat. If you want me to tell you how to protect yourself against cyber attacks, drop a little gem emoji in the chat if you want me to tell you how to protect yourself against cyber attacks, because that's going to be the new battlefield that nobody's talking about. Trump has no allies. He fucked around and found out this is not a good situation for America right now. Okay, LG. So yeah, oil is going to be impacted big time, Leonard. You're 100% right. But drop a little gem in the chat if you want me to talk about how to protect yourself with cyber attacks, because it is going to be the new battlefield, the coming of digital war that people don't talk about. Yes, bingo. I work tech during the day and have studied and invested at night working security and delivery. There you go. Air-gapped computer. There we go. Drop some more gems. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So if cyber attacks happened, which they have, we remember we had the big outage with Capital One. We had the big outage with Bank of America that they were like, oh, it was just a small little thing. So that was a cyber attack. That was a cyber attack. Bank accounts could freeze. Power grids could go down. Social media could be used as panic. So also your personal information could be at massive risk. Yes, a VPN is a major deal, ladies and gentlemen. Major deal. But we just had some major data leaks that a lot of people aren't talking about. And one of the things to understand is they want your information. Your information is the most valuable thing. Not just to open up credit, but to use it and impersonate and do other things with it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, protect your information. VPNs, if you're traveling, if you're not on your own network, or even if you're on your own network, use a VPN to protect yourself. Some apps won't even let you use them if you're on a VPN, which is wild, okay? So protect your information. Lock and freeze all of your credit reports. All you have to do is freeze your credit reports, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not applying for credit, your credit should not be unfrozen. Anybody can get into it at any point in time. Freeze your credit reports. China is infamous, and so is Russia infamous for stealing people's data. They're one of the biggest cyber attack countries. Those two combined could be a massive disaster for the United States and for consumers. Could you imagine waking up and someone's got a bunch of credit in your name and your kid's name even bigger? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, protect your information at all costs. Now, there's something that I use and I've been using for, I think it's maybe over 4 years now. I've been using Aura for 4 years, protecting myself, my family. So it protects me, my wife, and my 3 kids. Okay. There's a 14-day trial. Check it out. I believe for just one person, it's less than $20 a month, I think, or something like that. But for a whole family, it's $34.99 a month is what I pay. I pay the full price, $34.99 to protect myself. It protects your social security number, your date of birth, your phone number, your email addresses. You can add as many email addresses as you want. Also be aware of that. It's tracking all of your credit information. It also makes them wipe all of your information from mining data. All the data brokers that are selling your information that you have no idea about, they're actually pulling all the information and blocking them. That's the first biggest step, is to get all of the data brokers to stop selling your information. Aura is amazing for it. It comes with the app. I love the app. It's tracking on there. When that massive data breach happened last year, where pretty much every American social security number was leaked, Aura told me about it a week before it was in the news. And I was like, this is kind of weird. What is this? Said, your information has been leaked, but your credit reports are frozen, so you're perfectly fine. But just be aware, we will continue to monitor your information. I was like, yo, this is wild. And then it hit the news. I was like, a week ahead of the news actually talking about it, okay? This is a really big one right here. I love this comment right here. Liz is just full of gems. Be careful with games on your phone too. They leak a lot of info. This is why it's important to have Aura on your phone to track all your information. Dropped it in the comment section right there. Comment protect on Facebook, and it will DM you the link. It's a 14-day free trial. Try it out for you and your family, especially your children. I cannot stress this enough, coming from a Latino community, how Latino kids' information is consistently stolen all the time, and it happens all the time. So protect your children's information. It is more valuable than you can ever imagine. Even though they are not 18, their information can be stolen. It's really huge. Mike, you need to get armed. Who said I ain't armed, bro? I'm like the militia. What you talking about? Yo, my wife is not a gun fan, but I am all about it, man. This is a big one. You need to get armed to get training. My godfather was a decorated Green Beret. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? So he taught me everything about guns when I was a young kid. As he helped me shoot my first rifle when I was a child. People thought it was crazy, but it wasn't. Teaching my kids how to prepare themselves the same. So I always say stay strapped, and I'm not talking seatbelts, okay, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, I have a great collection I've showed it a couple of times in some shorts, but not the complete collection. But yeah, so be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Aura, I'm gonna drop it in the chat right here again for anybody who needs to protect their information. My link comes with a 14-day free trial to try it out for 14 days. Okay, again, it's a free trial for 14 days. After that, if you do the family plan, which is you, your wife, and then your kids, I believe that's $34.99 is what I pay. And then below that, I think it's $24.99 or less than $20 per person, just for one person, if that's what you're looking for. Okay. So let's get prepared and be prepared. It's really simple. Cyber attacks are real. I cannot stress it enough. I'm not trying to fearmonger you here, but cyber attacks are real, and you need to be prepared. Prepare your information, protect your information, have your social security card protected, your passport. If you don't have a passport, you should always have a passport just in case, saved in a safe somewhere. That's what I do. Get all your children's passports too. That's important. All right. So let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. And I do want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are using Dispute Beast to fix their credit. Dispute Beast is the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created that anyone can use to fix their credit on your own, and it comes with a 110% money back guarantee. But specifically, we want to give a shout out to Martin, who Martin's credit score went up 325 points after just one round with Dispute Beast. Now, we're not just going to stop there, so we also want to give a shout out to Dominique. Dominique's credit score went up 159 points after just 30 days with Dispute Beast. Of course, that's not it. Alonzo's credit score, I mean, that's pretty crazy, Alonzo. Alonzo's credit score went up over, Jesus, on nearly 300 points after just 30 days with Dispute Beast. That's wild. And then, of course, Matthew's credit score increased over 309 points after just 30 days with Dispute Beast. Link is going to be in the video description, okay? And it's going to be pinned at the top of the comments. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now for anybody that needs it. Yes, you can use Dispute Beast if your credit is frozen, okay, ladies and gentlemen? If your credit is frozen, you can still dispute. That does not stop you in any way, shape, or form. But if you're like, oh, that doesn't seem like that many people, Mike, don't worry, I got you. Here's some more. Bam. We got Sean. Sean's credit score went up only 3 points, but that's 3 points. Martin, we just talked about, 325. Igor, +2. Matthew, 309. Marcelo, 267 points after 30 days. Dejuan, okay, 19 points after 30 days. Melissa, 47 points after 30 days. Dominique, 159 after 30 days. Gerald, 97 points after 30 days. Monica, 107 points after 30 days. Roberto, 107 also. That's pretty crazy. Jesus, 43 points after 30 days. Casey, 156 points after 30 days. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Dispute Beast is the only platform that comes with a 110% money back guarantee, and it can also mail your letters for you, okay? It can also mail your letters for you. We don't mirror My Score IQ instead of Identity IQ. We don't mirror any of those. This is our own platform. We own this, okay? So everything's going to take time, ladies and gentlemen. This doesn't happen overnight. But I'm giving you examples of the results that people have had. Everyone's results are going to vary. Let's put it back up on the screen so you guys can see. Everyone's results will vary. As you can see, there's 8 points, 32 points, 73 points, 65 points, 99 points, 28 points. It may happen in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Everyone's going to vary. The point is to understand, if it doesn't work, guess what? Dispute Beast is going to pay you 110% of your money. If it doesn't work, follow the process, follow the guarantee, and you'll get 110% of your money back if it doesn't work. There's literally zero risk for you involved, ladies and gentlemen. Dispute Beast can attack any negative item on your credit report. That includes bankruptcies. Okay, every single negative item that's hurting your credit Dispute Beast will find it, attack it, and create a custom attack flow to your specific issues. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Because Dispute Beast is the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created. There's nothing like it. It attacks in Metro 2 compliance, consumer law, factual disputing. It not only attacks the big 3 credit reporting agencies, it attacks all 9 secondary credit reporting bureaus and the creditors. It leaves no stone unturned. This is the big thing that people don't understand. You should not freeze your secondary bureaus. This is the biggest myth in the credit repair industry, and I'm tired of it because it confuses. Is not going to help you because they still have access to your credit reports. You have to eradicate the information everywhere. If it's with a secondary bureau, you want to delete it, because if you don't delete it there, then when you delete it at the credit bureaus, it's just going to pop back up. That's why it pops back up. And people ask the question, why does it come back? Because you didn't get rid of it everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. That's why. Okay? This is your time. This is your floor, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody has any questions, drop them in the chat. Okay? Drop them in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. So again, remember, everyone's going to vary. Okay? So again, this is a great question right here. So if you receive something saying that Dispute Beast is a third party and I need to give you guys permission, what do I do? You don't need to do anything. You don't need to give anybody permission, but if you want to call them, you can call the credit reporting agency and say, hey, listen, I sent this letter. I created the letter, because you did. You're not lying about anything. You literally did create the letter. And tell them, I created the letter. Please process my disputes. Very simple. Nothing crazy you have to say to them. Just tell them, please process my disputes. Now, I'm going to put this up on the screen right now, so give me 1 second. These are the phone numbers for the credit reporting agencies. Let me take this off the screen real quick so you guys pause the video, screenshot it, screenshot this, save this on your phone under credit bureau's phone numbers. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So again, these are the phone numbers that you want to call the credit bureaus. If you get one of those letters, you need to tell them, I sent you those letters. I created them. Process my disputes, please. And be nice. Don't be rude. Don't ever be rude when you call the credit reporting agencies. Always be the nicest person you've ever been, ladies and gentlemen. But this is an easy fix. You tell them, listen, I'm disputing. I'm trying to work on my credit. All right. So can you add an unsubscribe button to the Dispute Beast or credit monitoring website? You don't want to unsubscribe to it. Okay, this is a really good question. And I'm gonna cover this because a lot of people don't understand this. So people will come into the chat or come into videos and ask questions, okay, about what to do. Your emails that you're getting from Dispute Beast are very important because they're going to tell you about any issues you may be having, how to handle any of these issues, and how to move forward. So don't ignore the emails. Open them, read them, watch the videos, understand the process. This is not some easy overnight sensation. I've never said that to anybody, like, oh, I'm going to fix your credit in 24 hours. No, I've never said that. I never said that, okay? This is a process. It takes you 6 to 8 months for an item to turn into a charge-off. Why would you think it's going to go away in 30 days? Okay, those are what we call unicorn situations. Anybody that tells you they can fix your credit in 30 days or 60 days is a scammer and a liar, and they're committing fraud, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I've been in this industry for 14 years. It's going to be 14 this year, okay? You can still file. Okay, this is a graph. We're going to put this up there on the thing because this drives me crazy too. I love you, California Cutie 1978, but there's no such thing as filing a dispute with the CFPB. You file a dispute on your own, and then you file a complaint with the CFPB. There's no filing a dispute with the CFPB. But there are idiots on social media that are telling people you can dispute with the CFPB. The CFPB is a complaint center. You send your complaint from when you disputed. Now they reach out to the creditor, debt collector, or the credit reporting agency, whoever it is, and they say, hey, California Cutie said this. And it's their responsibility to respond, and then the CFPB is going to make sure that they actually respond. Okay? They have 15 days to respond to that complaint. It's a complaint. You don't file disputes with the CFPB. Let's be very clear on that. Anybody who says that is a liar. You can go to CFPB website right now and it says file a complaint. It doesn't say file a dispute. Okay. What up, beasters? You don't have to fill out any forms. Call them on the phone, Brittany. Call them on the phone. I just put the numbers up on the screen. I'll put them up again. Call them on the phone. Like, I'm not filling out any paperwork. Okay. There's no forms to fill out. They can't tell you that you have to fill out a form. They have to actually process your dispute. Call this number right here and you'll be Gucci. Okay. And call after 1 p.m. Don't call before lunchtime. Call between 1 to 3 p.m. your time. Call the credit reporting agencies between 1 to 3 p.m. your time. That's going to be the best time to call them. They just got off a lunch break. Be super nice to them. Super duper duper nice. Like, hey, listen, I got a letter in the mail from you. I was just really curious as to why you sent me this, but that's besides the point. See if you can help me make sure to process my dispute letters, because I did send them. That was not a third party. I actually sent them and mailed them to you. So I would greatly appreciate it if you process my disputes. I say, oh, okay. But don't yell at them. The nicer you are to them, the nicer they're going to be to you. I promise you. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. You can cancel whenever you want to, M2. It's just that simple. Cancel whenever you want to. There's a cancellation button in there somewhere. So yeah, file a complaint with them. So there you go. I need to file a complaint with the CFPB regarding Wells Fargo. File a complaint. Go in there and do it. You can totally do it. Okay. What does this mean? Why does it seem like my credit score grows slower the bigger it gets? Oh, what do you mean by the bigger it gets, Jerry Light? You mean the more things you add to it? Is that what you're talking about, Jerry? The more things you add to your credit, or the higher your credit limits grow? You gotta give me a little bit more. You have a support tab, M2. You have a support tab in the Dispute Beast dashboard. Support tab is totally there. You can use the support tab. I promise you. Okay. So let me put something up on the screen right here. So give me some more, Jerry Light. I need some more information on what you're talking about, so I can answer it. I think I know what you're talking about, but so give me some more clarity here, Jerry Light. I got you up on the screen. Leonard Campbell, that's right. Anyone can join Skyla Credit Union. So yeah, once you start disputing, you may get some calls from collection companies. That's what they do. They see like, hey, but if you tell them don't call you, you have to send it in writing. Never ever tell them over the phone. Send them a letter in writing that says, do not call me on my phone, because I work from let's say 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I cannot be contacted at that time. Do not contact me ever again through my cell phone. You can tell them what form of contact you would like them to contact you at. Okay. Let's put this up right here. Let's see. So I just told them I don't want calls, so I don't know why they're calling. They're going to keep calling if you don't send a letter. Everyone, just a very, very simple letter. Okay. You say, do not contact me or call me at my phone number, because I am at work between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. and my job does not allow me to talk on my phone. Just that simple. Okay. All right. So Jerry, have you added any new lines of credit, any credit cards or anything like that to your credit profile in the recent 24 months? It doesn't matter what program you use. The credit bureaus are not humans that are reading your letters, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be really clear on that. You have a robot that's sending you responses. That's called eOscar. Well, Jerry, tell me how many lines of credit you got. Did you just get recent credit in the last 24 months? Okay. So also, are you carrying balances on your credit cards? Are you reporting balances? Now let's put this on the screen here so you guys can see. Everyone pay attention. Drop a little. I need y'all to hit the like button, man. Y'all are not hitting the like button enough. Hit that little like button, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to break this down for people that are stuck with their credit scores that don't understand why. Okay. How many of you are out there feel like you're stuck with your credit score and your credit score is not moving? Drop a little gem in the chat. Drop a little gem in the chat because I'm about to break it down. Okay. About to break it down for the next 5 minutes. Okay. Drop a little gem in the chat if you feel that your credit score is not growing and you feel stuck. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens to everybody. All right, drop a little gem, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all are out there. There's like 146 of y'all out there. Watch it. There's 135 on YouTube. YouTube got to do a little better out here, ladies and gentlemen. Drop a little gem in the chat. If y'all want me to tell you exactly why your credit score is not growing, mine is growing. Awesome. That's great, Joy. Okay. So if you're reporting balances out here, it's important to understand that credit utilization is the balances that report. That's 30% of your credit score, ladies and gentlemen. 30% of your credit score, whether it be not very big, okay, I know what's going on now. If you're carrying anything above 9% utilization on your credit cards, that's going to hurt your credit score. The higher the balances that report on your credit score from your credit cards, the more it's going to hurt your credit. Okay. Now for signature loans, if you got like personal loans and stuff like that, that's what signature loans are essentially. If the balances are higher, it's not hurting you. But if they're very fresh and new, then you're affecting your age of credit. Okay. Now lenders don't like to see high balances. They call it debt to income. No, not debt to income, but debt to limit ratios on personal loans, like whether it be a car loan, a personal loan, something out there. Okay. That can hurt your total debt to income ratio. That doesn't affect your credit score. Let's be really clear. But if you opened new credit in the most recent 24 months, that's affecting your age of credit. Because look at how every situation is built. Your payment history gets you 192 points, ladies and gentlemen. Credit utilization, the balances reported, gets you 165 points, always below 9%. Your credit age gets you 82.5 points. Okay, your credit age is 15% of your credit. It's not a massive part, but it plays a huge role. Your credit mix is 55 points, and inquiries or new credit is 55. Okay, for a total of 550 points that you control. You automatically get 300 points just for playing the game of credit. Everything else is up to you. So if you control these 5 categories, you're going to control your credit score. Stop applying for credit, because every time you get new credit, it's going to lower your average age of credit. That's why your credit score stays stagnant, okay? That's why your credit score seems stuck, because you keep opening new lines of credit. Yo, what up, y'all? Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate the super sticker there. Appreciate you, fam, for throwing that out there. Love it. Thank you. I wonder what Jay Woodfin would say about California right now. Jay Woodfin's a true Californian, and he would say he stands by his people. I know that for a fact. He was my best friend. So, yeah. Thanks for the breakdown. I need to work on the credit utilization. Absolutely. Get that credit utilization down, and your score will rise. I'm gonna show you guys where my credit score sits right now. Okay. I just took this picture for it. Let's see, like yesterday when I shot this new video that's about to drop tomorrow. Okay, so everyone can see exactly where my credit score sits at. So you can understand I'm not somebody that's out here just talking and I don't actually live this, because I actually do. I know it's a shocker, right? So let me add this real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna show you exactly what my credit score sits at. This is not a flex, but I just want you to know that you're talking to a person that really lives this. Okay. 827 with Equifax, an 838 with TransUnion, and an 822 with Experian. I want everyone to understand that this is with, I think it's like 2% utilization or something. Because my wife, I'm an authorized user on one of her credit cards, and she's carrying a small balance of like $1,000 on one of her credit cards. I was like, yo, what are you doing? Pay that off. It's affecting my credit score. Okay. My credit score would be slightly higher than this if that balance didn't report. That's kind of crazy, right? So this is hard work. Didn't happen overnight. I want to be very, very clear to everybody. You can't get to an 800 credit score overnight. Not possible. This is years of hard work. As my homie Just Jay Woodfin said, we put in the work and we reap the benefits. That's it. You don't want to put in the work, you ain't going to reap the benefits. It's that simple. It's not going to happen overnight. Your credit's not going to be fixed overnight. If you come into this game thinking that you're going to fix your credit overnight, you done fooled yourself. You done fooled yourself. Okay? Because I got to this. I've never had bad credit. Okay? But I know everything about credit because everyone around me had bad credit. That's how I got into this business. Okay? I have lived it, but I did not have bad credit. As a matter of fact, I'll tell a real true life story. I was going through a tough time in my life, and my car got repossessed. But guess what? It didn't show on my credit report because I knew what I was doing. I paid the car off. I got my car back, but it never showed that my car got repossessed because my roommates that I was living with didn't pay their bills. So I was paying for everything. Okay? They didn't care. So I got my car back, made sure my credit was A1. I was Gucci, and I kept moving forward in life. I learned a tough lesson. Don't help nobody that don't want to help themselves. That's a tough lesson to learn, ladies and gentlemen. When you're trying to help your friends, your family, they will drag you down every chance they get. So stay focused, and I'm telling you, just put the work in, ladies and gentlemen, and it will pay off. It doesn't happen overnight. But yo, I want to say this again. How many people that you watch their content even show you their credit score? Okay. I already talked about the stall letters, cheekies. Okay. What up, Reed? Thank you. Appreciate the love and support, man. Yeah, so this is really important to understand. I don't have any late payments. Not one late payment, ladies and gentlemen. If you get a late payment, it could be detrimental to your credit profile. All of your credit cards, everything should be set to auto payment. A credit score, one late payment can drop your credit score all the way up to 145 points. This one person in the comments said it dropped their credit score 85 points. Okay, seems extreme. Credit is about repayment. If you don't repay, you're going to pay the consequence, unfortunately. Not trying to be rude, but I'm going to tell you, you can attack it. You need to dispute it at least 4 to 6 times. Okay? Dispute it 4 to 6 times. If that does not work, then you can go and find the CEO's email. There's a website called ceoemail.com. Again, it's ceoemail.com. And you can request, you can look up the CEO of your company, credit card company's email, and then send him what we call a goodwill letter asking them to reverse the late payment. Who's the late payment with, Ashclo? Or sorry, Grateful Soul. Who's the late payment with? Grateful Soul. So if you go to CEO email, you can easily look up and say, hey, I want to find the email address for the Capital One CEO. Drop it in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Drop it in the chat. So cheekies, you can go back in the video and watch the part where I talk about the stall letters. So go after it again. So yeah, go after it again. Sometimes you have to. That's just how it is. It depends on. So there's 2 different types of deletions or reversals. It could be a soft deletion or a soft reversal. In the first 30 days, what's actually supposed to technically happen is they're supposed to remove it from your credit report within the first 30 days because that's a part of the disputing process. But the credit bureaus are always breaking the law and they don't do anything properly. Shocker, right? So what will happen is in those first 30, 60 days, if it comes back within 90 in a 90-day window after it's been removed or reversed, that's because it was a soft deletion or a soft reversal. It's a part of the process. You actually went through the process the right way, which is not common, okay, as we're talking about stall letters and all these things, okay? USAA, ooh-wee, you in trouble right there, grateful soul. USAA are super difficult to reverse, but you have to dispute it 4 to 6 times and then try to send a goodwill letter asking them to forgive you. Do not call them on the phone and ask for forgiveness. They got you on a recorded call admitting that you got a late payment. This is why you dispute it through mail. And then if it doesn't work, then you do a goodwill letter. If you go straight for the goodwill letter, you're admitting that you got a late payment. And then what's the point of that? You just told them the truth. Okay? I'm not saying be dishonest, but I'm saying you can dispute it. You want to get them to reverse it to on time paid as agreed. That's what you want to do. That's the best option for you. CEO of Capital One. So this is a great question. I disputed portfolio collections. I hate those people, just in case everybody knows. They just sent me the statements from Citibank that they bought the file from Home Depot. What should I do now? I have already done my first round. You don't have to do anything. This is the best part about dispute beats that a lot of people don't understand. They freak out when they get stall tactic letters. They freak out when they get a response. They freak out throughout the entire process. Dispute beats is designed to be easy, okay? You don't have to respond to any of them. If you want to respond to the credit reporting agency, you can call them, like I said earlier. That's the only thing you should do. You get any letters from anybody else, you don't have to respond. Dispute beats is going to do its work in the background. Once it pulls your credit reports and it sees that no changes have happened, it will change the attack to advance to a different type of level of attack, depending on what round you're in, how many rounds you've sent out, and what has changed or what has not changed on your credit report. Dispute beats will figure that all out. You don't have to do anything. You can put those letters in a little folder and save them. I always say save them as evidence, because if something goes awry, you have proof of what they said. But besides that, you don't have to do anything. Just wait for your refresh in 40 days. Refresh your, let dispute beats refresh your credit reports, create your next attack, and keep moving on. That's what it's supposed to look like. Now, if you're thinking about like, well, what do these credit repair companies do? They do exactly that. They're all using software. And if they're saying they're not, they're liars. And if they're doing anything else, the only anything else they're doing is they're filing fake police reports, committing fraud. Okay? And they're making clients commit fraud, which is wild to me. Okay? So yeah. So again, unless you got them on a recorded call, they're not going to stop. Okay? Because they don't care. So depending on your state, if a debt collector calls you and it says, this call may be recorded for quality assurance, you can tell them who you are. That does not make you owe the debt or confirm you owe the debt. It does nothing. Okay? But you tell them, yeah, I am so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. You don't give them your date of birth. Don't give them any of your information except for your name. Say, you have my name, you have my address on file. I'm not giving you any other information. Okay? And you say, I do not admit to this alleged debt, but what are you calling me for? Okay? They're going to say yada, yada, yada. But what they're going to say is, this call may be recorded for quality assurance. Did you hear what I just said? May be recorded. Use your iPhone and record the conversation. If you tell them, do not call me, you have to be specific. Do not call me Monday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. because I am at work and I do not want to lose my job because my phone is ringing at work. Do not call me. Do not email me. Only send me letters in the mail, and that's it. If they don't abide by that, you can sue them locally on your own in small claims court and win. So that's an easy slam dunk right there, ladies and gentlemen. ViStar Credit Union on the live chat. ViStar in the house? Is that what we're talking about? Hey, look at this. I love this. Amen. Since watching your shorts videos, my credit rating has risen. Auto payments are key on time payments. I will make my payments when it posts. There you go. Congratulations, Joy Ledbetter. Okay, congratulations. Keep working hard. So I covered this a little earlier, okay? You can call them, call the credit reporting agencies. I'll put the number up again. I think it'll let me put it up here. Give me 1 second again. I think I have enough. There we go. Call these numbers right here and let them know it is you. You can call them very easily between 1 and 3 p.m., okay? Between 1 and 3 p.m., ladies and gentlemen, your time. Okay, 1 to 3 p.m. You can call them. If they're sending you a stall tech letter, pick up the phone. Tell them, yo, it's me, fam. But be the nicest person you've ever been. Don't be rude, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be rude. It never helps you. Okay. So there you go. Should I avoid applying for business credit with a 651 FICO before pending credit crash? Pending credit crash? What are you talking about, cover girl? What are you talking about? Pending credit crash? Ain't no pending credit crash. Tell me in the chat what you're talking about. We're gonna put this up on the screen right here because I want to see this. Let me know what you're talking about. Pending credit crash. Okay. This is gonna be good. I can tell, cover girl. Please let us know in the chat what you're talking about. Pending credit crash. I know someone out there spitting some nonsense out there. I'm trying to answer all these questions as many as I possibly can. Okay. Yo, for real. Yo, right there. Thank you. Likes, though, y'all. Okay. This is a mighty gift of time and care, Mike sharing. That's right. I'm taking time out of my day. I could be hanging out with my wifey and the kids and the family on a Sunday night. Okay. Y'all need to hit that like button more. I need to see some more likes. There's 119 people from YouTube and 5 from Facebook. Hit that like button, ladies and gentlemen. If you're in here, it's me, fam. So yeah. What you talking about over here about the pending? She says feels like something's pending. Okay, so there's no credit. Okay, all right, cool. So I thought maybe you saw some crazy video or something out there. Okay, no worries, no worries. So here we go. There probably means pending market crash, maybe. What's our value stars with the route we already taken? I don't understand what you mean, Donnell. What you mean? What's our value stars with the route we already taken? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, fam. Okay. So yeah, so that's what she was talking about. That's so funny. It'd be crazy if there was some crazy, credit crash and all of it disappeared, because it all is fake money at the end of the day. Think about that part. Okay. So yeah, we've been on here for a minute, guys. I greatly appreciate everyone that came to the live. Thank you for joining. Thank you for learning. Stay prepared. Don't freak out. Remember, I want you to be prepared for anything that's happening. Links are going to be in the video description and in the chat for anybody that needs them. I'll also pin them at the very top of the comments on YouTube. Always remember, subscribe to increase your credit score, ladies and gentlemen. And I greatly appreciate everyone that came live. Y'all have a wonderful night.